All right, everybody. So what we're going to be doing today is we are going to be doing Lab 3. And yeah, so let's take a look at it. It says, in this lab, you'll write a program that calculates the yearly and monthly salary for a job given the hourly wage of the employee. Now, that's actually a little bit tricky if you think about it, because when you're trying to calculate a salary and you know how much they make per hour, you have to know how many hours they work, right? So you might know how many hours they work in a week, or you might know how many hours they work in a month, but months are different lengths, right? February has 28 days. Some months have 30, some months have 31. Depending on what day of the week the month starts, you have different number of weekends and stuff. And so it's all a little bit tricky. And so in this introduction here, what they're doing is they're giving you information to make this so we have a specific way we're going to calculate somebody's wage, how much money they make for their job, right? So it says we are going to be given the hourly wage. Actually, the user's going to type it in. We're going to assume the employee works for 40 hours a week, right? That's a standard full-time job, 40 hours a week. Now, in terms of calculating the yearly salary, we're going to assume that the employee works for 50 weeks out of the year. So we're just saying, hey, they're not paid for 2 weeks for some reason. Um, why? Because we said so. Okay, so like maybe their vacation is not paid for. So 2 weeks with no pay. So we're going to be counting 50 weeks out of the year that they do get paid. And then because of that, to calculate the yearly salary, we just want to take how much money they make per hour, and then we're going to multiply it by 40 hours a week, and we're going to multiply it by 50 weeks out of the year. So, if you just made calculator, if you just made like $20 an hour, right? You would just take $20 an hour and you say you work 40 hours a week, then you would do times 40. That would be how much money you make per week. So I guess $800 per week. That's before taxes and everything, right? And then you multiply by 50 weeks out of the year, and that would be your yearly salary. So $20 an hour for a full-time job is about $40,000. Now, of course, in real life it would vary, right? Because, maybe they don't work 50 weeks. Maybe they get paid for 52 weeks. Right? That would make the number higher. There's obviously taxes and things get taken out. We're not going to get that deep into it. So this is what we have, $40,000 here. And basically, we just need to write a program that does that calculation. And once you have their yearly salary, like $40,000, if you wanted to say how much money do they make per month, we don't want to worry about the fact that months are different lengths. So we're just going to take this yearly salary and we're just going to divide it by 12, and that would be the monthly salary, like 3,333. Okay, so that's the idea, and we just need to make it happen. So down here in the actual Lab 3 section, in step 4, you can see an example of what this might look like. You can kind of skip this middle line here if you want, the one that says for an hourly wage of 1875, because they just typed it in, right? They know what the hourly wage is. They just typed it. It's still on the screen. But basically, we need to ask for the hourly wage or rate or whatever you want to call it, and print out the yearly salary and the monthly salary. And maybe I'll print it out exactly like this just because. And that's the plan. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now I'm going to do this using two different programs. Partially, I'm going to use Eclipse, and I'm also going to skip over to that JDoodle site that I've used once or twice now, just because that might help people. Also, my operating system upgraded, so I have to log into everything again. Am I logged in? Give me a second. Make small. Okay, so click on Start Coding, and we'll call this, what is this? This is Lab 3. Oh, I'm picking a language or framework. Reading is fundamental. Java. Now I can say Lab 3. Start. Okay, so this is JDoodle, just kind of a blank program. Not really blank. I guess there's stuff in here. I'll delete it. And then also, let's make a blank program over in Eclipse. So this is going to be lab 3. So I can just close the stuff that's here. And lab 3. So I'll do File, New, Java Project. I'll do lab_03 is how I'll name it over here. Make sure that the module info.java is unchecked. Click Finish. Okay, it's here. Expand that. Click on the source, src. Then we want to do File, New, Class. And we pick the name of our class. I'll also call it lab_03. I'll check the box that says public static void main. And we click Finish. And here we go. So now we have a blank project, right? Now, whether we're using Eclipse or I'm using the website JDoodle, I then need to um, start doing the assignment. So the assignment should be here. And let's see. So it says write a program that does read the hourly rate from the user of the keyboard. You can use the variable double hourly rate. Perform the calculation to get the yearly salary. You can use the variable double yearly salary. Perform the calculation to get the monthly salary. You can use the variable double monthly salary. Okay, so we can go ahead and put these in. I'm just kind of copy pasting them into my program, right? And so this is an Eclipse. It's the same exact thing if we were going to do this in JDoodle, right? Go over to JDoodle online Java compiler, and I just paste them all in there. Now, the indenting is kind of weird in JDoodle for some reason. I'll try to make it right, but there we go. Okay, so we have those. Great, what's next? So what's next, it says, is that we actually need to read the hourly rate from the user, okay? And I purposefully did not put all the information in here that the previous labs had, because at some point you're going to need to just remember, how do we get input from the user, right? We're a couple weeks into the class now, and we should just know that. If we don't know it, we'll try to remember. So when we're trying to um, read input from the user, before your class, you need this line: import java.util.S scanner, right? So we're used to doing that. And then in your main method, we're going to need a scanner object, which you make this way: scanner, SCNR equals new scanner, capital S, system, capital S, dot in, like that. So we've got our scanner set up with those two lines. Well, let's go put them in also JDoodle. I'll delete this entire comment up here. All right. So that one's set up too. What is next? Now it says to read the hourly rate from the user from the keyboard, right? What it's supposed to look like is this. So we'll output this text, enter the employee's hourly wage, and then we'll read in a number, right? So whenever you're reading something in, you should get used to this fact that the way it works is we tell them what to do. So like system.out.print maybe, and then in quotes, we can say enter the hourly wage or rate, whatever. I usually end it with a colon and a space, like that. And then after you do that, that's where you can actually read in the variable. So we're reading in the hourly wage, which is called the hourly rate up here. So hourly, capital R rate equals, and to actually read it from the user, it's SCNR dot next double. right? You use a next int for reading an integer, and you use next double for reading a floating point number, a decimal number. So I'll add a little comment here, read in the hourly wage. All right. And so you should get used to this kind of, two-line thing here for calculating, or not calculating, for reading in a variable. I'll put it in Eclipse now. Again, the indenting is a little annoying. Actually, I'll just select everything and re-indent it. All right. So we read in the hourly wage. What's next? So the next thing is going to be to calculate the yearly pay. After that, we want to calculate the monthly pay, right? Remember what our goal is here. We're going to print out how much you make per year and how much you make per month. And the last thing we'll do is we will print out the information, right? I'll say the pay information. That's what we're doing. So we still need to do those things. So to calculate the yearly pay, let's just think about what we did just with the calculator, right? When we did this, um, we took the amount they made per hour, like 18, let's say you make 18.75 per hour. And if you want to calculate the yearly pay, what we said in this problem is we're going to multiply by 40 hours per week and 50 weeks per year. And that's how we're going to get it. So we're going to take that money per hour, multiply times 40, multiply times 50. So we just need to type that. So the yearly pay is going to be in this salary called yearly salary. So we say yearly salary equals, and then we're going to calculate it from the amount they make per hour times 40 times 50. So you just take that hourly rate, times it by 40. When I'm doing decimal numbers, I'll type it in 40.0. And when I'm doing decimal numbers, I'll type it in as 50.0. So sorry about the noise. There's nothing really I can do about it. So we have yearly salary equals hourly rate times 40 times 50. And that's it. Once we have that, we said that once you have that number, we're just going to take the number and divide it by 12. And that's how we're going to get the monthly salary. So to calculate the monthly pay, we would take, well, first of all, the variable is going to be monthly salary, right up there. And we're going to get it just by taking the yearly salary, and we're going to divide it by 12. You can type 12.0 if you want. And that's it. Okay. So just to see what our program does now, we can try it out. I can do run. It says enter the hourly wage. You could say whatever you want. So I could say like $24 an hour. I could type it 24, 22 per hour, whatever you want to type in, right? And I hit enter and the program ends because we have not printed out any information yet. So the yearly salary and the monthly salary are being calculated, but we're not going to see them on the screen until we print them out. Let's go ahead and put this into here, the JDoodle. I'll just let the indenting be bad over here. All right, so we have the monthly pay and the monthly and the yearly salary. Over here, just to show you it works, we can click execute. It'll run the same. You just have to wait a minute. Enter the hourly wage. Again, I can say like 23, and the program ends because, again, we're not printing out the information yet. So the last thing we need to do is print out the information like this. You can print dollar signs if you want. It doesn't really matter. All right, so let's do it. So to print out the information, I suggest in the tips, actually, if you scroll down, it says you should use printf to round the salary to do to 2 decimal points. Yeah, you should do that. So we sort of learned about this system.out.printf function. So it's printf, not print. And the way it works is you type the entire thing you want to print out. So like we want to say the yearly salary. Actually, how do we do it? Yearly salary colon space. So let's just do that. Colon space. And after the colon and the space, that's where we want the yearly salary to be inputted. And so you have to use what we call like a placeholder. And the placeholder is a percent sign, dot two, and an F. So percent dot two F. And it's the middle part there, the dot two, that says we're going to be rounding to two decimal places. And that's what we do for money, right? Like, you don't want to see like $300 0.456732, right? You don't want that many decimal places, just two for money. So this placeholder will um, have a two decimal place number in it. To go to the next line, though, because printf does not work like print line, so to go down to the next line, we have to add this extra backslash in. That will mean go down to the next line. Okay. And then after the quote ends and we have a comma where it says args here, that was from autocomplete. This is where you put the number that needs to be printed out. So we're trying to print out the yearly salary. So you would say yearly salary like that. Okay. Now, once you've done one of them, you can do the other one. So I can just copy this entire line, come down here and put the entire second line. All I have to do on the second one is change the word to monthly here. And then over here in the variable, make sure we also change the variable as well. And so we're basically done. We can run it. Hourly wage, we can just put in something. So let's say 21.50 per hour. Hit enter. And that would be 43,000 for the yearly salary and 3,500 for the monthly salary. And you'll notice we have two decimal places here, which is what we want to see for money typically. If you want to put in dollar signs, go ahead. You'd have to put them right before the money gets printed out. So you go 21, right? And then you can put the dollar signs there if you want. All right. So that's basically it. I can take the print out the pay information thing. If I'm using JDoodle, it would just go right there. Again, the indenting is kind of a little bit annoying here, but I can run it. Enter the hourly wage. I could just say 23 or something, and we get the monthly salary and the yearly salary printed out. So they're both working perfect, right? So at this point, you need to make sure that you submit your work. So we need to print out, or sorry, not to print out. We need to submit our code. Do pay attention to this, right? You need a little thing on the top that says your name. So I'll come here, put that at the top. Yours should be, of course, your name, right? And the date. It doesn't matter if you do the current date or the date that it's due, just a date. It's going to be fine. And, that should be saved in the file. So there we go. We just need to turn that in. And or actually we need to run it. We want to show that your code outputs the correct answer. So I would have to screenshot this. I can help you screenshot, or you can Google how to screenshot on whatever operating system you're doing. So on a Mac, I think it's like Shift Command 4. No, it's Shift Option 4. Something Shift Option Command 4. Oh, it's already there. I'm curious. What was it? It was Shift Command 4? Yeah, it was Shift Command 4. All right, so I drag a box around it. I can drag a box and show the entire code, but I just need the output. That's going to save somewhere, I think, to my desktop. And so I need to submit this. So what I usually do is I try to get these things side by side. So maybe drag that over to the right side of the screen. Um, and then I have to pretend I'm a student here for a minute. And the way to do this is to scroll down to where you can see the upload thing. We drag the file from here, the left panel. You cannot drag it from up here, only from here. So there's my Lab 3 Java. Make sure you turn in the right one. And then I need that screenshot too, which the screenshot's on my desktop. So I'll just click on top. It's right there. Should be right there. So we'll select that. And that should be my work. And then I should just be able to submit that. I can't really see the button down here, but there's a submit button down here. It's just covered up by this panel. So there we go. I have submitted my work. So that's about it. So I'm gonna go right here and I'll upload this for you guys soon. If you're reading it, then or seeing this, you already did. So why am I even saying it? All right. Talk to you guys later.